All right, our segment here this morning. You're going to enjoy this. We're going to do this over the next few months because we had him on, Sean Burke, author, How to Press America's Reset Button, and I was pretty fascinated by his story and his cause, first of all. And I said, well, geez, this will be great for the listening audience because we're going to live vicariously through him as he tours across the country all the way up to Election Day. And this bus is amazing. It's as nice as some of the tour buses some of these presidential candidates are running around with. Sean, good morning.
Good morning, George.
It's nice to talk to you again. This time, though, you're not in New Hampshire. Where are you today?
Well, right now, South Carolina. I started this journey in Iowa with the first primary caucus, I guess, and then now I was in New Hampshire with you, and I'm ahead of you just a little bit to prepare for the primaries down here in South Carolina.
Yeah, this place is packed right now here, our state, of course, because of Tuesday, it's all over, you know?
Yeah.
They'll make their hiatus down to South Carolina. I want to know, prior to you writing the book, what did you do, Sean? What were you doing in life?
Well, I'm still doing it, actually. I for many years, I worked in the entertainment industry, working more in an administrative role, supporting really high-profile people, actors, musicians, and I did that for, 20 years, and it just, I kind of got to the end of that road and I went into my own business, and right now what we do is we build specialty items like props for movies, television shows, marketing, advertising. So if you want a 6-foot tall bottle of something, you're marketing a new bottle, we can make that or whatever. So I use all these talented artists down in Los Angeles. I lived in Los Angeles for over 20 years, and there's some really talented people down there that we use to build these things. So I still do that on the road. I do all the marketing and advertising and talk to all the clients from the road. I take my business with me.
Sean Burke, the author, How to Press America's Reset Button. It's available everywhere, but there's a couple of things you want to do so you can get into this journey like I'm doing with him up until November. He writes a blog every night called 365 Days to Reset. Now, is this like in real time, or is it a day preceding, a day after?
No, it's each night. Each night, it's 365 days to reset because I'm on the road. I started 1 year, November 8th, 2015, and I'm on the road going till November 8th, 2016, till the election, and then we can press America's Reset Button. So every night, I give my story, my journey, who I run into, what happened that day, and it's really quite amazing. I've been to I tell you, the most amazing thing for me is the people I'm meeting. Just yesterday, I was in a camping world. I'm in an RV, so I have to kind of load up sometimes with camping stuff.
And not a small RV either, though.
Well, you need to go on the website. Our website is resetourgov.org, and click on Nelson. The name of our motorhome is Nelson, and there's a real specific reason why he's called Nelson. But he's gorgeous, and he's big, and we get attention wherever we go. And I pulled into this camping world yesterday in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and wherever I pull in, everybody stops. They just stop, and they stare. And that happened. It happens all the time, and I've gotten used to it. I'm kind of a shy guy. I really don't like everybody staring, but that's what we have to do on this journey. So I walked in the store. I was looking around. I was minding my own business. I was buying some stuff, and up came a manager, and he said, "Hey, are you that guy with that bus out there with the reset button on it?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Can we talk?" And we proceeded he just wanted to stand in the store, and we talked for 10 or 15 minutes about his concerns with the country. And he turned around at the end, he donated $20. We're a nonprofit. He donated $20. I gave him a book, I signed it for him, and he was excited to read it. So I tell you, everywhere I go, I run into people that are so concerned about what's going on with the country. They're concerned about, and the reason I started this is because I was concerned about what was the country going to be like when my kids got older and they wanted to buy their first house. So I was so concerned about 3 years ago that I was losing sleep. I mean, it was something that really bothered me. So I looked into it, and I did my own research, and I stumbled upon what I call America's Reset Button. And I kind of missed it, and I think others have missed it, the power that we truly have under the Constitution to actually kind of overthrow our government if we're not really happy with them. And so I put a book together. I'm not an author by trade, but I can write. And I put this book together, and I guess it's doing okay. Amazon, all 5 stars right now on Amazon. So people like it. And so I thought I needed to tell people about it, and how else to do that but get a big old motorhome and wrap it up and make it look cool and drive around, and here we are. You and I met, and here we are.
Yeah, I'm on the road to resetting America with Sean Burke here, and it's you got to read his book, number one, and you could talk to him. This guy's. I told him I want him to do a show where he just reads a book. I told him that because you got a great voice. It brings you in, and I just want to let people know that your motorhome, which acts as your mobile headquarters, it's named after the horse George Washington rode during the Revolutionary War. That's why. It's named Nelson.
You took the mystery away. Yes, it's Nelson was George Washington's favorite horse, and I actually just visited Mount Vernon on my way down from New Hampshire. I had to stop by.
Oh, is that amazing?
I went to it's amazing, but the funnest part is this motorhome is sitting in the parking lot, and I went into the grounds and I saw the stall where the real Nelson used to be kept, and that was kind of cool. It's just fun. I also have a guy on the road with me called Robot Man, and if you go into my blogs, you'll see this little piece of art that kind of gets into my blogs every now and then. I try to have fun as we go around the country.
And you are doing that, and that's what makes it interesting enough to want to have you on and talk about your journeys and who you're talking to and so forth and so on. That's very important, I think. I want to direct people to the website so they can start to follow you. ResetOurGov.org, that's the site. And there's you have your blog, which is 365 Days to Reset. Are you active in Twitter or Instagram or anything else?
We are. We're on. Everything is under Reset Our Gov. So we're on Facebook, facebook.com/ResetOurGov. Our Twitter handle is @ResetOurGov, and Instagram is ResetOurGov. So we're on all of them, and we encourage people to follow along. I post photos as we go along throughout the week, and so people can follow along that way.
There's a how you can help link on that page, resetourgov.org, and for those that might want to go along with this journey and feel part of it, don't forget that Nelson needs food, okay? So you can help finance a little donation here or there and other ways of helping him. But the best thing I would suggest to do is to get his book and read it first so you can find out what he's all about and his cause and stuff, because this is a big sacrifice. He's left his family to do so. He left back in November. He'll drive all the way to November. And where did you leave from again, Sean? Where did you just start the journey?
Well, I'm living in Seattle right now, and the motorhome was purchased. I did a nationwide search and bought it out of Ohio. So we picked it up in Ohio, went to Iowa, New Hampshire, and all the way down here to South Carolina.
Okay.
And I think we need to point out, I just realized a lot of people don't understand, this is 100% nonpartisan. This has nothing to do with parties. I'm not starting a new party. I'm not calling for a constitutional convention. I don't have some secret billionaire out there trying to adjust what everybody should think about the election. I'm not going to ever recommend who people should vote for. This 100% is how you and we as citizens can take back control of our government. Too many people have opted out. In the last election, 64% didn't vote. And that's over 145 million people in the last midterm election did not vote, which is frightening. Because if we don't vote, it's going to go down to the few voting that actually want to get their take out of our government. So it's ours. It works for us. This is what I really discovered in my journey, George. I mean, listen, for me to pick up, start a nonprofit, get this motorhome, leave my family, and drive across the country alone right now, I really realized that we are letting our country go by, and others are taking advantage of it. And there is a way, I propose in the book, a real way, not just, hey, these are all the problems, a way we can take it back. And that's why I'm out here. So anyway, I just want people to know there's no secret money behind me, or we're not going some strange place. This is just a guy who felt like he needed to do something, and I don't know what this will end up doing, but I know I have to try, and I'm out here doing it.
You need resetourgov.org is the website. We're speaking with Sean Burke. He's trucking across the country all the way up until Election Day. I'm loving it. We're calling the segment On the Road to Resetting America. We'll get an update. But his page on there, the blog, is amazing. First of all, I love the neatness of it all. You can get around. Thank you so much for posting our picture up there when you had 76 down, 289 to go, and you are already at now 88 down, 277 to go. One of the things that I want... Go ahead.
Yeah. No, 277 days, to November 8th.
Right,
so
exactly.
I count down every day.
I want to know if the vibe, I like to use that word, from all of the people that you have met and talked to from Ohio to where you are in a little bit of the South right now, has changed. Have you noticed there are concerns of people in certain demographic areas that may be different than others? Or is there one sentiment that you're hearing through this whole journey so far?
Well, I'll tell you, I haven't seen a change. And I will let you know, I did my own surveying. I looked at this before I went on the road. I mean, this is the financial risk for me. There's a lot of risk here, and I didn't want to just be silly about this. I did my own surveying, and what my surveys showed, and what we all hear about the surveys that everybody does, and what I'm finding on the road is pretty much the same. Anywhere I go, just yesterday, I'm in this campground for a day or two down in Myrtle Beach, and an elderly gentleman on a bike rode up behind me. He said, "Hey, are you that author?" Well, when we drive in a campground, of course, they see the motorhome. And I said, "Yeah." And so he kind of acted like, well, maybe we don't need to do anything about the government. So I just asked him, I said, "Are you happy with where we're going?" Well, no.
Of course not.
There's no one that I've found yet that feels like we're going in the right direction as a country. Now, maybe not everybody feels that we're off track the same. And the cool thing about my book is no matter what your disagreement is, you can reset the government just the same way I can. My biggest beef is our national debt and the interest we have to pay every year, and what's going to happen when that starts running out, our ability to pay that interest. But everywhere I go, George, is pretty similar. In fact, the gentleman, one of the gripes the gentleman had yesterday at Camping World was the school system.
Oh.
His concern was that the teachers couldn't discipline kids anymore, and the kids were out of control, and the kids who really wanted to learn now couldn't. And so even his son had to be pulled out, and they did homeschooling. So I find so many different aspects of what people are upset about. But number one thing, I don't think anyone I've run into thinks we should have more debt. And that's the one thing I think we can all agree on. Really, should we actually add another $1 trillion to our debt? I don't think there's anybody out there that thinks that's the right way to go. And that's really one thing that I think we need to adjust quickly.
Sean Burke's with us, okay? On the road to resetting America. Get his book, too, How to Press America's Reset Button. Maybe around here, anywhere through the state of New Hampshire and parts of Mass and Maine, you saw Let's Press America's Reset Button. And Nelson, the bus that the guy's been living on and will be all the way till November.
George, I have a story. I did that story right there. I drove into a gas station in New Hampshire. In fact, the day before you and I interviewed, I was just over on the other side of Manchester and just drove in a pretty small gas station. And Nelson's 40 feet long. So he takes up an entire lane at a gas station. And I saw some people inside the gas station gawking, which is, again, normal. But out came the manager, and he kind of smirked at me, and I said, "What?" He goes, "Well, I was just going to bust your chops a little bit." And I said, "No, come on, bring it on. I can take it." He said, "No, I can't. I've already read your book, and I agree with you."
Oh, that's great. Really that must have given you some incentive when that happened, right?
It floored me. He said he was up in northern New Hampshire at a Barnes & Noble. He walked through, and there it was sitting, and he picked it up and read it, and now he saw me drive into his gas station.
Oh, man.
That was pretty
Did you
cool.
sign it for him?
He didn't have it.
Oh.
He didn't want it. I took his picture. He's on the blog. If you go to 365 Days to Reset, his picture's in there. So it was fun. We had a nice chat, and it kind of buoys you as a guy driving around the country wondering what this is going to do, and have that happen at a gas station. That was fun.
Yeah, well, of course. And good to see that people are already out getting the book without you having to talk about it, because it is out there.
Yeah.
And it's a hot topic right now. I mean, I know myself, I have to interview all of these guys and girls for the last, year now? And, it's getting a little tiresome. We got another debate Saturday night. You got the primary on Tuesday. But one good thing, and the blessing of this all right here, I'd call it, Sean, is the fact that the gas prices are down while you're driving Nelson around.
You know, that's if there's. I know there's a lot of problem with the fact of oil dropping and what's happening to different sectors, but for Nelson and Sean and Reset Our Gov, we couldn't be happier. I tell you, down here in South Carolina, I saw $1.54.
Nice.
It's unbelievable.
You know, though, it's killing. You know, there's other facets of life that it's hurting because these prices are down as well, though.
I know.
And I'm still trying to figure out how to connect the dots, but it's finagled.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of geopolitical things happening too, because if the price of oil is down, it hurts certain countries. There's a bigger game being played here, but it's benefiting my driving across the country. I'll say that.
Okay, Sean. So you know, many people really first of all have to appreciate what you're doing. You might as well be representing them because they probably can't do it. They thought about doing it, but they can't do what you're doing. And what do you tell the person that's talking to you about it? You just have a chat. You find out he's disgruntled about this, that, the other, but feels so alone and he can't fight it. He's by himself. We don't have enough people. Politics. You can't fight City Hall attitude. I mean, that's a big problem.
It is, and I'll tell you, I was that way too, George. So I basically tell them that we can do something. I mean, it's the reason I wrote a book is because there's a journey that you have to take. There's a little bit of a change in view we have to take. There's been a few lies, let's say, that's been kind of passed down through the ages about our power in this country, and when you start feeling powerless, there's some kind of misinformation that you're thinking with, because in the end, all the power rests with us. Truly, we oversee the Constitution. The Constitution tells our government how it should behave. The government works for us. I mean, when you get down to the nitty-gritty. So what I tell people is, do pick up and read the book. This isn't a ploy. All proceeds from the book go to the nonprofit. It's just that you need to take this journey. And I'll tell you, here's a story. I got an email from somebody who had read the book. Oh, in the last chapter of the book, I asked everybody to write me and tell me what they think. My email address is in there. So this gal wrote to me, and she said, this was the first year I wasn't going to vote because I felt so disgusted with the candidates, what was going on, and I didn't feel like it mattered and I could do anything. And she said, after I read your book, I am so in. I am voting, and we're going to reset America. And when you read the book, you'll understand what she's talking about. But it's almost when that happens for me, I feel like, in a way, the whole journey's worth it. Because
Absolutely.
This one person, she is completely rehabilitated as her position overseeing her government, and that's where we need to be. We need to get back to a point where we can and do oversee our government, because if we don't, this thing is going to go down that road, and who's going to pay for it is our children, our friends' children, grandchildren, those who come after us. They're going to pay for it, and that's, to me, that's not okay. We have a duty to make sure we pass this country, in my opinion, on to the next generation in a good position, and right now I don't think we are.
On the road to resetting America with Sean Burke, and from my experience in doing radio, if you get one response like that, then there's hundreds that you don't get, but they feel the same way that she does. So, that's a positive thing, especially for you as an author, as you are going about your cause. It gives you a little bit of incentive to carry it on. It could, not every day is uppity. It's especially driving that thing. You got to deal with traffic, parking, and so forth and so on.
Oh, yeah.
And you've never done this before.
No, I've never driven a motor. I've never driven a motorhome before. I'll tell you, I could do a whole series of articles or stories just on owning a motorhome.
That's the next book. That's the next book.
Driving the motorhome through New Jersey. I mean, come on, along the turnpikes.
Oh no!
It was stressful. There's times I didn't know I was going to make it through the next 15 seconds when I saw the things in front of me. So there's some thrills to this. I will say that.
No, it's great. Okay, you and I will touch base again next week. If you'd like to just give us a little heads up on what where we're going this week until next Thursday. Where you're going to be.
Yeah, here's the plan. Here's the beauty. I am building supporters and volunteers, and we now have a volunteer who is contacting radio stations ahead of me in the locations I'm going. So we're hoping to do a number of radio stations here in South Carolina coming up. I will say this: come Friday, I'm going home. My daughter is having her birthday. I'm going to spend a week with my family. I haven't seen them in 5 or 6 weeks, so I am not on the road next week. But you and I are still going to talk next week.
Yes, of course,
There'll be plenty to talk about. And then
you're still going to blog, though, right?
Oh, no, every night.
Okay.
This thing is every night until, and I always have something to say. There's not a, in fact, I have too many things to say. So, and then after that, the journey is going to head through Georgia down to Florida because we got Super Tuesday coming up, and then Florida has their primary coming up. So we're kind of on a southward trend here.
Oh, it's great. We love it. I love traveling with you. Thank you so much for giving us the time. You and I will speak again next week. ResetOurGov.org is the website. You can read his blog. You can find out how you can help. Of course, there's some bio on what they're really about, but there is a link on there to get his book, which I encourage you to read, How to Press America's Reset Button. He's the author. He's the driver. He's the man on the mission. His name's Sean Burke. Thanks a lot, Sean. All right. Enjoy your time with your family, all right?
Thanks, George. Talk to you next week.
Okay.